Today I busted out the Hygge game, game, cozy conversation, pleasant company. I only like to do this in the cold weather. It's not a real game, it's kind of just like conversation cards, which I love to do. Hygge is a Scandinavian or Danish really word for enjoying the good things in life. It evokes atmosphere of coziness, accompanied by a feeling of contentment and well-being, and there's nothing more Hygge than spending quality time with people you love. I'm actually going to cover up to get more Hygge because I'm cold. Before we get into these game cards, these conversation cards, you know what we got to do. We got to pull out a piece of gum and we got to do channel maintenance. Channels are Neopets. Okay, so if you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh geez, if you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're old here, go double check, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like. If you like, leave a comment. Give me anything related to the video. Give me hello, a few emojis, whatever, as long as it's cool, respectful. Hit the notification bell. As always, I'll link my tip jars down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every $1, $2, $5 helps. It's greatly appreciated, and that is what allows me to continue to make content. You're invited to my Patreon. I know, not everybody can come, but you can't say you weren't invited. There's over 50 videos there now. Probably getting close to 60. Email for customs and collabs and all that type of stuff is down yonder in the description box as well. Alright. We're in. No, I don't know like how many of these I've done already. So sorry if some of these are on repeat, but I haven't done one in like a year probably. Okay. Can a man and a woman really be just friends? Yeah, I guess it depends. I have one of my best friends is a guy. My daughter, her actual best friend is a guy. So yeah, actually yeah. But it also depends on the people. It's at this point though, it's mostly like a brother than a friend. So maybe friends is the wrong word for it, because if your best friend that is of the opposite sex doesn't gross you out in the same way that your brother does, then maybe not. Like if somebody suggested, oh, you guys should date, and it doesn't make you feel like that's my brother, they're disgusting, that's a disgusting suggestion, then maybe not. I don't know. Because for us, okay, me and my daughter both feel the same way about actually my daughter has 2 really close male friends. But when they get a girlfriend, we're almost like, how? Good luck, but ew. And sometimes they'll get a girlfriend, and it almost seems like the girlfriend doesn't like them to have a girl that's a friend, and you're like trying to be nice, but you can tell they're like, but you want to be like, I don't even know why you're dating him. I'm not gonna do my best friend like that, but I'm like, I don't even know why you're dating. I certainly wouldn't. But okay. What crowd were you a part of in high school? I went to 3 different high schools, so I was never really part of a crowd. And I was really just like a catch-all. I'm really versatile. Going to 3 different high schools will make you that way anyways, but because I was bad, but I got good grades. Like, I was ratchet, and I was a drunk already, but I got good grades, so like, I was kind of all over the board, you know? If you could go back in time and meet your 10-year-old self, what advice would you give yourself? I mean, there ain't enough advice in the world, because it wasn't me, it was them. So I don't know. There wasn't really a way to get out of the situations that I was in. So I don't know what I would tell my 10-year-old self. Like, hang in there. Like, your adult self is waiting on you. Your own adult self is a safe person. So hang in there. You're gonna... I don't know. Okay. What is the nicest thing someone in this room has ever done for you? I'm the only person in this room, but you're supposed to be playing this game with other people, so I can't answer that question. What cause would you be willing to give up your life for? My life? I mean, I guess my kids, if they needed an organ. I'm not giving up my life for a cause. My time, a part of my life for some. Can good parenting be learned, or is it innate? Both. If you had good parents, then you learned from them, and if you didn't, yes, you can learn, but you're gonna be rough around the edges, and you're gonna make a lot of those same mistakes that your parents did. The goal is just to make less. And there's gonna be your own kids or society saying, like, you're not perfect, and like, yeah, duh. But if each generation gets a little better, I don't know. What compliment have you received and never forgotten? Well, some things that stuck with me from when I was younger, I guess, like, I heard my stepdad say, like, well, when Nat wants something, she'll figure out a way. I don't know if that's a compliment, or I don't know if he was calling me annoying, but that kind of stuck with me. I think that did, just hearing that, I was probably already like that, but hearing that did shape or give me some kind of confidence to, like, no, I can figure this out. Also, I've been in survival mode my whole life, so I've just always had to figure stuff out, which is a skill, but it's also exhausting, and it'll kill you. Why do so many people live alone today compared to in the past? Probably has something to do with social media, so we get a lot of interaction on social media. Also, other people are a lot. You gotta figure out a lot when you live with other people. I think we really should get back to having a sense of community, and even, like, community living. But I think everybody needs their own space. So maybe not living alone, but community with little ways to be on your own as much as you want to be. Would you move to the other side of the world? Absolutely. I don't know where, but I would totally be up for moving across the world. What name would you never give your child? My dad's name, because I don't like my dad, so I guess my dad's name. I also never did the, like, considered the junior stuff, simply because my dad was a junior and I would have been a third. Ew. So I never considered, like, the junior stuff. Have you ever declined someone's friend request on Facebook, and why? Yeah. I'm gonna keep doing it. I just talked about this in my last video. Like, I just don't think that I want to be friends with anybody on Facebook. I just don't think I think Facebook's silly. We don't need to see what each other are doing that we don't know that well. Of all the famous people alive today, Who do you think will be discussed in 500 years? Dolly Parton. I don't know. I think there's gonna be like a lot of picking apart of like the Kardashians. Like, what was wrong with us? Like, we all thought we needed to watch this one family get weirder and weirder. What is the biggest difference between your parents? My mom's like kind of a naive goody two shoes, by the book, but naive. Okay. My dad was a drunk, selfish creep, so they're pretty different. Do people pay too much or too little attention to their appearance these days? God, if you look at people from the 50s, 60s, like, they didn't leave their house looking like crap. I certainly do leave my house looking like crap and don't care. So I guess maybe too little. I'm guilty of that too. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I am not going to look my best every single day. I do not know how those people that do are getting any sleep. Also, sensory issues. I have way too many sensory issues to put on real clothes. I will put on real clothes for a date night or an event or something that absolutely requires it. Other than that, I'm going to wear a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Is it better to grow up in a large family or a small family? I don't think there's a better. Maybe a small family because you like could get more attention. So I do think like there does come a certain part where there's just too much going on and not everybody's getting the attention that they deserve. So maybe smaller side would be better. But what part of your body do you like the best? I got man hands. I got big hands and they have come in handy often. So it's probably not the answer that this was looking for, but I do like my big old hands. These are some paws. Have you ever lied about your job to seem more interesting? Usually the opposite. Usually I don't want to talk about my job. So I just don't say much, or even like maybe I lie to say I've said I don't have a job. Have I said that? I just try to get out of the conversation sometimes because I don't really want to talk about it. But no, I've never like fluffed what I do or yeah. Do you think there would be fewer conflicts in the world if we all spoke the same language? Okay. It would get rid of the stupid conflicts about people saying like, you need to talk this here, you need to talk this here. Like, I guess that those wouldn't even be in a conflict because they wouldn't exist. But overall, no. Some people are just dying to have conflict all the freaking time. Do you think people ever really change? To a degree, yeah, I do. But I don't think you should ever wait for it. I don't think you should ever push for it. No, I'm not talking about like speaking up like, hey, I don't like when you do that. Giving a person a chance to change what they do once they're aware. But like trying to change a whole person, don't even think about it. Don't. If you had enough money to retire tomorrow, what would you do for the rest of your life? Make ASMR, listen to ASMR, travel. Put my kid in daycare. Put my kid in part-time daycare so I could actually like do some of the stuff that I want to do that I can't do as soon as he wakes up. I got about 3 or 4 more years that like he rules. he rules my life by like, he's just there. He's a toddler. He loves his mama. It's fine. It only lasts a little bit of time. But there are some things I'd like to work on that would require silence. I'd like a dog and child nanny for like 4 hours a day, a couple days a week, and start knocking out some stuff that I've had circling. Are you more or less romantic than most people? Probably less. Romance really isn't. I don't need a lot of romance. Like, I'm just, what's the word for me? Like, respect. But other than that, like, yeah, let's go have a good time. I don't really have a need for like the fluff. A little, sure, but not over the top. I don't have that need. If you do, cool. Do you believe in love at first sight? Love? Something chemistry at first sight. Yeah, love. No. Do you think the use of cash will end in your lifetime? I hope not. But it's very possible. And I'm almost like, I had to count cash the other day and I almost forgot how to count cash. Like, I was like, I was a mess. Like, just holding all the cash. I was like, ew, this doesn't even feel right. It's been so long. And I don't know what to say about that. What foreign language do you wish you were fluent in? Probably Spanish. Like, Spanish is my husband's first language. He doesn't even speak it that much anymore, but and mine is just big. What do you think the purpose of life is? The more I think about it, the less I have ideas about it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Is there a point? Do you think you get enough in return from the government for the taxes you pay? Do you guys know where I live? The U.S. No, I do not get enough in return from my government for the taxes I pay in. Which of your friends would do best in Jeopardy? You know who? My dad was a genius. I know I talk a lot of shit about it. My dad was actually a genius, and he was almost on Jeopardy. He was like in one of the final rounds before you make it to the show. But that man would just, I mean, if you sat in the living room while Jeopardy was on, he knew every single answer. But he did say that the questions that they put on the show are easier than the ones for the test to get on the show, because they want some of the people that are watching the show to know some of those answers. So, friend-wise, God, my son, is that my friend? I don't know. See, I'm talking about relatives. I don't get out much, right? Do you check expiration dates on food before buying it? No. Before eating it? Yeah, but buying it? No. I guess I assume that's the job of the store. Who in your family has the best luck? Probably my husband. He wins stuff sometimes. What smell reminds you most of your childhood? Cherry, almond, Jergens. Smells like my grandma putting lotion on her hands. I actually won a bottle of the perfume. I think I sold them both though, because it was just a little too much. Like, I just want the lotion. The perfume was a little too much. But they did like a Mother's Day special where they made a limited amount of perfume that smelled like that, and I won it, which was so cool because, like, there's me, my one luck. But it ended up being like too much, and I was like, this is just taking away from like the lotion smell that I like. So I sold them. Okay. Do you still print out pictures you take and then make them, frame them, or put them into photo albums? Not much. I haven't done it I did a lot when my toddler was born, like that first year, but now I haven't. Now I suck. What is your earliest memory? You guys, I talked about it on my Patreon. You don't want to know. It's a trauma memory. If you do go over my Patreon, it is on the video about my dad. Do you have anything with no monetary value, but with so much sentimental value that you wouldn't sell it for $1,000? Oh, I'm really not attached to stuff like that. Like even jewelry that my grandma got me, that like I'm never gonna sell it. But if something happened to it, like I lost it in a fire or something, I wouldn't be distraught because I don't have that attachment that some people get. And it's okay to get it. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but I don't have that. Like I have my memories, but I don't get attached to sentimental items that like a loving an item. No. Now knowing it, like, okay, what if I lost my phone? Like the value of my phone, how much it's going to cost to that's something else, but I don't love any item. Okay, let's do one more. And I got to take my kid to school. What famous person do people say you look like? Oh man, I've got a few of these. Rosalind Sanchez. No, I'm not saying I look like these people. I'm just saying the ones that I've got. Although Rosalind, I think my younger self and Rosalind kind of looked like.